Tim, so I'm curious from your perspective, as someone who might think about user engagement or patient engagement differently from, how a product leader at a very consumer-facing company might think about it. How do you sort of weigh engagement and think about that and ascribe success to it?
So when I think about engagement, one of the things I think about is what ultimately is the underlying mechanism of the treatment that we're trying to build, and then what are the experiences from more of a kind of therapeutic standpoint that map to that mechanism, and really thinking about how do we get people to engage in those loops or those features that really are kind of most tightly associated with or kind of map best to what that underlying mechanism is. So as much as possible, trying to, at least as I think about things, grounded in what do we know from the clinical scientific perspective about this disease, and try to help, be a good, partner with my product colleagues to think about how we build an experience that really brings that to life in a way that's engaging, is a good user experience, but ultimately is mapped back to what is that underlying mechanism. Right. So ultimately, we can understand how, when we're looking at someone's, engagement over time, we can look at a particular experience or an engagement loop and have, fairly good confidence that the engagement there is going to produce the kind of therapeutic outcome that we want, because we've mapped it so closely to what the underlying kind of mechanism for that disease is.
And so in theory, once the MOA, assuming it's been engaged with in the right way and it's been very effective, in theory, it could be a good thing, right, for engagement to sort of die off, right, because the thing will have worked.
Yeah, not all lack of use is bad. I mean, right. I think a lot about, in our face-to-face treatment modalities, termination is often a time for celebration. When someone has gotten what they need out of treatment and they're ready to kind of go back to their lives and bring with them the knowledge that they've gotten and apply it, that's something to celebrate. And I think it's a great point, Chris, that it's not always a bad thing if someone's not using something, and having that context can really help turn what is otherwise, a moment where you might feel disheartened that someone's not using your product. Really, you're missing an opportunity to celebrate something for that individual, because it may be something where they've gained that self-efficacy and are ready to kind of move on without the support of this treatment.